Prepare to have your notions of intelligence and enlightenment upended. Today, we embolden your curiosity, potentially spark a moment of introspection, and maybe even stir a pinch of disbelief. You might be assuming that those with high IQs are naturally closer to spiritual enlightenment. However, what if we told you that this isn't necessarily the case? What if we revealed that those considered less intelligent by societal standards are the ones frequently exhibiting profound spiritual depth? Picture this, a shepherd from the remote hills, unacquainted with modern-day formal education. Yet his words carry the wisdom of eons, transcending the boundaries of time and space. He radiates an aura of tranquility that moves everyone he encounters, despite speaking in a dialect that few understand. His connection with the universe, his grasp of the subtle nuances of existence, stem not from a textbook, but from years of introspection and an intimate bond with nature. Or envision an elderly lady in a small town who left school at an early age. Do not be deceived. Within her lies an ocean of spiritual wealth. While she might struggle with complex mathematical equations or have a limited vocabulary, her heart resonates with an ineffable love that leaves an imprint on every soul she meets. Her empathy touches hearts. Her insightful understanding of human emotions and spiritual matters connects people to their inner selves, and she thusly fosters their journey towards awakening. These are but a few among many who dramatically demonstrate the fact that spiritual wisdom isn't exclusively linked to intellectual ability or formal education. So question the conventional wisdom. Challenge the presumption that higher IQ is a sure pathway to spiritual development. Now let us delve deeper and explore the elements that truly contribute to spiritual growth. Imprinted into the fabric of our collective consciousness are figures known for their authenticity and simplicity. These are individuals whose spirituality bloomed not from the fertile soil of intellectual prowess, but from the unyielding bedrock of direct experience and profound heart-led wisdom. Let's delve into these deep spiritual waters, where we find clarity not in the complexity of philosophical discourse, but in the purity of authentic encounters with the divine. Imagine Mahatma Gandhi, a name etched not in the annals of intellect, but in the hearts of those he inspired and led towards freedom. Though well-educated, his most profound teachings were not rooted in legal theory or political strategy, but rather emerged from a tranquil, deeply spiritual place within. Walking on the warm, dusty roads of India, barefoot and clad in the simplest of clothes, he was just another commoner in appearance. Yet this unassuming man's heart pulsated with an astounding spiritual vibrancy that rippled outward. His teachings on non-violence and truth resonated across continents, sparking revolutions of love and peace. His spiritual wisdom was a beacon of hope in turbulent times, demonstrating how it is one's heart, not intellect, that guides the surge towards enlightenment. Let's shift our gaze to the 19th century mystic, Ramakrishna Paramahansa. Armed with only a minimal formal education, he was a simple priest from a small temple in Dakshineswar, known more for his devotion than his intellectual abilities. His universe wasn't confined to the scriptures. It expanded beyond the perceived limits of human understanding into the mystical embrace of the divine. His teachings were not the byproducts of intellectual pursuit, but the fruits of his intimate communion with the divine, his heart ever resonating with the cosmic consciousness. His spiritual insights, like threads of pure gold woven through the coarse fabric of mundane existence, continue to guide seekers into the heart of spirituality. In a more contemporary context, we encounter Eckhart Tolle. This man's sudden spiritual transformation came not at the zenith of intellectual accomplishments, but from the abyss of severe depression. Amid the seemingly unbearable torment, a spark of consciousness awoke within him. A thought pierced the darkness. I can't live with myself any longer. This thought split him into two, the tormented self and the conscious observer. It led to a profound internal disintegration, a death of the old and the birth of a new dimension of consciousness in him. His teachings, laden with spiritual depth, now reach across continents, transcending intellectual boundaries. They serve as lucid reminders that enlightenment is less about cognitive understanding and more about the direct, authentic experience of the timeless now. These figures brilliantly illustrate the fact that advanced intellectual capabilities do not exclusively lead us to profound spiritual experiences. Instead, it is the ability to connect with the pulsating heart of existence, resonate with its timeless rhythm, and surrender to its mystical dance that guides us towards the fountain of spiritual wisdom. This invaluable insight invites us all to tread a similar path, realizing that enlightenment is a deeply personal journey beyond the shackles of intellectual reasoning and into the boundless realm of experiential knowing. The spiritual journey is a dance, delicate and profound, where humility and grace often prevail over the flamboyant pirouettes of intellectual pride. Often in our quest for enlightenment, we encounter an elusive barrier, one that is most paradoxical. We meet the impenetrable facade of our ego. This ego, an inherent part of our human nature, is nurtured by our accomplishments, reinforced by applause, and often finds a loud voice in our intellectual achievements. It basks in the glory of knowledge, and in doing so, constructs an invisible yet potent barrier that shrouds the path to spiritual enlightenment. Imagine a scholar, erudite in religious texts and scriptures, taking pride in his comprehensive understanding of various spiritual doctrines. Yet in that very pride, a veil engulfs his ability to experience the spirituality he so deftly discusses. His intellectual victories build a fortress around his ego, stifling his receptiveness to those divine nuances that transcend theoretical knowledge. Unfortunately, in his tower of intellect, the scholar becomes immune to the whisperings of the soul, the silent, intuitive wisdom that forms the essence of spiritual enlightenment. Contrast this with the humble shepherd we met earlier, his world free from intellectual complexities. Now, contemplate his spiritual receptivity, how it seems to proliferate amidst simplicity. Freely he absorbs the silent dialogues of the universe, his heart pulsating in sync with cosmic rhythms. No hefty intellectual pride casts a shadow on his path, for his journey is devoid of such hollow trophies. His ego doesn't erect walls around his perception. Instead, it dissolves in the vast ocean of humility, surrendering control to higher wisdom. Similarly, the old lady, innocuous in her humble lifestyle, becomes a dynamic conduit for spiritual wisdom, untouched by intellectual vanity. Her connection to the transcendent is not a result of extensive study or analytical prowess, but is born from a state of genuine humility. Her heart resonates more deeply with the subtle frequencies of the universe, for her ego has graciously stepped aside. These comparisons illuminate the often overlooked dichotomy between intellectual pride and spiritual depth. While a keen intellect certainly has its merits, when tethered to the ego, it can often hinder spiritual openness. It is in humility and grace that we find the keys to unlock true spiritual insights. Thus, we must regularly examine our own egos, acknowledging the delicate balance between cerebral understanding and the profound depth of direct spiritual experiences. As we learn to harmonize these aspects of our being, we journey effectively towards enlightenment, allowing our hearts to guide us through the unpredictable terrain of spiritual growth. As we voyage deeper into the spiritual ocean, we encounter souls whose essence brims with authenticity and heartfelt experiences, outshining the glittering gems of theoretical knowledge. These individuals, unmarked by formal education or intellectual proficiency, paint the sky with the vibrant colors of their robust spirituality, leaving lasting imprints on the hearts they touch. Consider Peace Pilgrim, a woman who, armed with nothing but her faith and the clothes on her back, embarked on a spiritual pilgrimage spanning over 28 years. With the full force of her genuine experiences and teachings echoing through every step, she touched countless lives on her journey. Her worldly possessions consisted of a mere handful of items. Intellectually, she was as ordinary as any of us, yet her spiritual depth was anything but. Her walking meditations rippled into an endless sea of spiritual awareness, and her profound peace became a beacon of light for many. Or visualize Ajahn Chah, a Thai monk with little formal education, but revered for his profound spiritual wisdom. His teachings, devoid of complex scholarly rhetoric, somehow bore a richness that resonated deeply with his students. A simple farmer turned enlightened monk, Chah's teachings stemmed from authentic life experiences and deep inner explorations. His spirituality was not etched on paper. It was written upon the canvas of his heart and reflected in his every action and word, flowing into those he guided and beyond, touching the very core of their beings. Closer to our current times, consider the impact Marjaya Sati Bhagavati, the spiritual teacher from Brooklyn, has had on the multitude of lives she touched. Lacking formal education and coming from a challenging walk of life, she became the loving mother for those in the most desperate of situations, offering shelter, compassion, and spiritual guidance. Her wisdom didn't stem from knowledge distilled from books, but from divine visions and authentic spiritual experiences. The deep spiritual connection she nurtured manifested supremely in her undying service to humanity, leaving an indelible spiritual legacy. Every thread of our narrative affirms the profound truth that the essence of spiritual enlightenment cannot be found solely in the intellectual understanding of doctrine and dogmas. It reverberates through the authentic experiences of ordinary individuals made extraordinary by their genuine spiritual journey. It is personal, it is experiential, it whispers to us through the language of the soul, beckoning us to look beyond the written word and step into the dynamic realm of authentic spiritual awakening. In this space, spirituality is not just known, it is lived deeply and fully. It is not solely intellectual, it is profoundly experiential. By stepping beyond the pages of academic understanding into the unfathomable depth of their hearts, these individuals have made a striking impact, touching lives with the warmth of their authenticity and profound spiritual experiences. Their stories stand as profound reminders. The path to spiritual enlightenment is paved with the stepping stones of genuine experiences, innate wisdom, and most importantly, the courage to be authentically ourselves in our spiritual quest. In this profound exploration, we've discovered that spiritual enlightenment cannot be conferred through intellectual laurels. It is not reserved for the intellectually elite, the scholars, the thinkers, the philosophical giants of our time. Instead, it blooms within the hearts of those who tread the contentedly simple path, inviting the universe into their souls, immersing themselves fully in the richness of their experiences. From a shepherd's humble heart to a grandma's intuitive wisdom, from a barefoot wanderer to a simple monk tending to his flock, their simplicity has served as their beacon, guiding them through the mystical realms of spiritual awakening. They have witnessed the universe beneath bare skies, not within the closed chambers of intellectual debate. Their wisdom was carved not in the stone of intellectual understanding, but engraved in the soft soil of humility, openness, and authenticity. This exploration is a call to each one of us, an invitation to unshackle ourselves from the bondage of intellectual vanity that may veil the luminous landscape of our inner world. It beckons us towards a spiritual voyage where enlightenment is not bargained through erudite discourse, but discovered within the silent, tranquil depths of our being. It nudges us to pierce through the surface of theoretical knowledge, to dive into the fathomless ocean of genuine experiences, allowing them to mold us, shape us, and awaken us to the radiant dawn of self-realization. Let's continue our exploration of this transformative journey. Let's remember that every drop of wisdom we accumulate, every flutter of intuition, every heartfelt realization forms the mosaic of our spiritual enlightenment. Let's remember that walking the path doesn't require a scholarly stride. Sometimes it just needs a humble step and an open heart. If this resonates with you, let's continue together to unravel more such profound insights, mindful discussions, and deep realizations. If you wish to journey further and explore deeper, remember to subscribe, like, and share. For enlightenment does not belong to a privileged few. It is a gift waiting for us all, awaiting our readiness to unwrap it with humility, grace, and genuine authenticity. Seek this not just in the books you find, the videos you watch, but also within the transformative silences upon the terrain of your heart, across the constellation of your experiences. Here's to your enlightenment and the wisdom waiting to unveil itself in its radiant glory. You are gifted, you are capable, you are on the path of your spiritual awakening.